Good afternoon from ATI Physical Therapy Field here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. We are in Joliet, Illinois for Game 2 of today's soccer doubleheader between the University of St. Francis and Roosevelt University. Game 1 on the women's side went to the Fighting Saints. The Saints defeated the Lakers of Roosevelt 3-2, and now the men's team will try to make a doubleheader sweep for St. Francis here on their home field. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon. The shade is starting to settle over the bleachers here on the near side of the field, but it's gorgeous down on the field right now. Temperatures in the low 70s on a perfect fall afternoon for soccer as St. Francis tries to get their third consecutive positive decision after starting the season 0-6. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's game as the Saints take the field wearing their white and gold jerseys, and Roosevelt on the field in black and green. St. Francis will get the first kick. They're going from left to right here in the first half, and they have taken the first kick as we are underway. Saints shooting into the south goal for the first 45 minutes today. Roosevelt shooting into the north goal. They're going from right to left on your screen here in the first half as Carmel Sabuti Teti has the ball and sends it back to the goalkeeper Mario Graciano. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams. For Roosevelt, Gerardo Flores, Carmel Sabuti Teti, Emmanuel Castanon, Eduardo Hernandez, Anthony Aldape, Alan Rubio, Jonathan Hernandez, Luis Areola, Lucas Garcia Bennett, and Sebastian Rodriguez make up the starting 10, along with goalkeeper Mario Graciano, who you just met. Graciano has started all 5 games in net this year for Roosevelt. He's allowed 9 goals and made 25 saves, a .735 save percentage. He does have 2 shutouts, and in fact they've come in back-to-back games. Roosevelt has not surrendered a goal now in 3 games, so they're going to be tough to score on today for St. Francis, who sports this lineup: Isaac Avalos, Edward Luna, Ander Santamarta, Hunter Foose, Sergio Fernandez Arango, Zakhar Shkidchenko, Leonardo Haro, Jesus Flores, Eric Vega, and Santos Contreras, who is chasing after this ball down the sideline right now. Contreras looks for the cross, sends it high into the air, out to the back side of the box. It's headed back the other way by Vega towards the sideline and out of bounds. The starting goalkeeper for St. Francis today is Carson Hegland, who is playing for the 4th time this year. He has allowed 4 goals and made 12 saves, a .750 percentage. And in his previous 3 games, he has not gone the distance. Today he gets a chance to start. We'll see what he's able to do with it. Wearing the blue jersey back in St. Francis's net. St. Francis trying to get going offensively early in this one. Zakhar Shkidchenko had possession of the ball deep in the box, but he was forced off of it. Shkidchenko, the hottest goal scorer in the country right now. 7 goals in his last 2 games. He's got 9 for the season. Sent in towards Contreras, knocked away by Roosevelt. Contreras tries to get positioning, but it is knocked away from him once again. And back to the defensive side for the Fighting Saints. Hunter Foose rolls it forward. Knocked out of bounds by Sebastian Rodriguez, and the Saints get a throw in here. Tossed into Contreras, and Contreras is knocked off the ball. It was Gerardo Flores who initially came away with the steal. Carmel Sabuti Teti was able to force it downfield. So Roosevelt clears it here. Along the near sideline, it's Eduardo Hernandez. Hernandez back to the middle of the field, and Luis Areola. Now the Lakers try to mount an attack. Saints are able to snuff it out. Roosevelt gets it right back. Along the sideline, that ball drifts out of bounds. There'll be a Roosevelt throw in here. The Lakers come in with a 2-2-1 record. But more importantly, they're 2-1 in conference play so far this year. And their 2 victories on the season have come in back-to-back games. They've outscored their opposition their last 2 times out, 5-0. And their only conference loss so far this year is to Cardinal Stritch, who is one of the favorites to win it this season, the CCAC. Going well outside the box. Mario Graciano can't pick that ball up. He kicks it away off to Santos Contreras. Now it's Shkidchenko. Shkidchenko along the near sideline with two defenders in his way. Deflects it off of one of those defenders out of bounds. And the Fighting Saints will get a throw in. Shkidchenko takes it himself into Contreras. A little bit too far out in front of Contreras. And it's out of bounds. Goal kick for Roosevelt. St. Francis lost their first 6 games of the year, but then they took on a struggling Indiana Northwest team last weekend. They defeated them 7-1 for their first victory of the season. Came back against Holy Cross on Tuesday, and they held their own. Could not come away with the victory, but they did tie up the Crusaders and leave with a 3-3 decision. So back-to-back positive results. Saints have picked up at least 1 point in back-to-back games. And now they'll try to make it 3 in a row today as they look to pick up their second win of the season. Carson Hegland in net today. Typically that has been Carlos Ferrer-Coto's domain, but he's struggled here as a fifth-year senior with the Saints. Throw in for St. Francis just beyond midfield. Tossed into Jesus Flores. Flores rolls it off towards the sideline where it's intercepted. Sabudi Teddy pushes it off towards the far sideline. Steps up again and gives it the big kick down the middle of the field. Knocked into the air by Isaac Avalos. Kept alive by the Lakers. Saints have a chance to bring the defense back as Anthony Aldape sets things moving to the near sideline and a little bit too far out in front of Lucas Garcia Bennett there. Senior from Majorca, Spain. It's a throw-in coming up for St. Francis. We're about 6 minutes into the action here. Not much action so far as two teams feel each other out. Saints have had possession deep into Roosevelt territory a couple of times. Have not been able to get a good shot off yet, though. That one sent well out over the sideline, bouncing into the bleachers. Here's Sabudi Teddy passing back to Graciano, the goalkeeper. Shkidchenko applies some light pressure, forcing Graciano to kick the ball away. And now Roosevelt is on the attack. There's the cross, headed away. Eduardo Hernandez trying to put it in front of the net. Knocked out of bounds by St. Francis's freshman defender, Anders Santamarta. Corner kick coming up for Roosevelt. First one of these we've had today as they try to set up the first goal of the game. Set up by Sebastian Rodriguez. Freshman from Waukegan, Rodriguez has himself in position. There's the kick, and it soars past everybody. Well out of bounds off to the other side of the field. St. Francis will get a throw in here. Edward Luna from back near the corner tosses it just in front of him. Roosevelt knocks it right back out of bounds. Luna from the exact same spot will send it in again. Roosevelt takes it away. Their run stopped immediately. Now they get another chance. A long-range shot. Sails wide of the net from Gerardo Flores. And out this time for a goal kick. "6'4" tall Carson Hegland, junior goalkeeper, tallest player on either side today. Gets the goal kick off towards the near sideline. Zakar Shkidchenko tries to head it back towards the center of the field. It's intercepted by Lucas Garcia Bennett in front of the net. Contreras tries to chase it down, but Graciano is able to clear it off to the right side. Along the sideline, Hunter Foose battling with Sebastian Rodriguez. Rodriguez wins the battle, at least in the short term, as Foose knocks it out of bounds. Contreras to the sideline, looking for Shkidchenko too far out in front of him, and out for a Roosevelt toss. Garcia Bennett back across midfield. He was looking for Alan Rubio. Saints take it away, but possession changes hands back and forth around midfield. Rubio has it poked away from behind by Ander Santamarta. And again to Roosevelt. Luis Areola down the sideline. Here's a run from Eduardo Hernandez. Hernandez trying to get by Leonardo Haro. Unsuccessful as the Saints are able to knock it back to the middle of the field. Now a turn and a shot and a miss from Alan Rubio. Rubio squared it up. Could not get his foot on the ball, though. He whiffed on the shot attempt. And on the back end of that play, Lucas Garcia Bennett pushes it out the back line for a St. Francis goal kick. Nothing happens for Roosevelt on that opportunity. They had a few chances to get a shot off. St. Francis' defense was able to hold steady, though, and prevent Roosevelt from getting a good look. We're 10 minutes in, and we're scoreless. St. Francis against Roosevelt. CCAC action. Fourth conference game of the year for both of these teams. They each have one loss in CCAC play so far. Roosevelt is 2-1. St. Francis, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. A new ball comes in for Lucas Garcia Bennett. And there's the throw in. Luis Areola plays it back. Garcia Bennett once again. Over into the middle of the field. Gerardo Flores. They reverse field all the way to the far side. Still at midfield here. Pushing it ahead to Rubio. Rubio, nice little cross there. Intercepted by St. Francis and cleared by the Fighting Saints. Given right back, though, to the Lakers. Here is Rubio. Rubio works against Edward Luna. And Luna holds his position defensively, forcing the Lakers to send it back to the defensive side. And ultimately, as they try to work their way forward again, they lose it out of bounds. Throw in for St. Francis. Still a tie game early on here in Joliet. Shkidchenko runs right into Sabuti Teddy and loses the ball in the process. Hunter Foose able to keep that ball away from the Lakers. He forces it out of bounds and he gets it out in the corner just along the sideline. So it will be a throw-in instead of a corner kick. So Foose gets the desired result out of that. Roosevelt gets their throw-in, though. They threw it in from a little bit further back than they should have. So Garcia Bennett will do this again from back a little bit nearer to where that ball went out. Into the box, Hegland steps up and scoops that ball on a hop. Nice job by Hegland taking control there and making sure that Roosevelt is not able to get a good shot. So free kick here for Carson Hegland, not officially, just free in that there was nobody about. He sends it downfield. Roosevelt takes it back. Saints defense clears it. Now we'll see if the Saints can hold on to the ball for a little while. It's been a long time since they've done that, and they can't here as Vega gives it up to Flores. Gerardo Flores down the middle of the field. Headed back towards the sideline, out of bounds by Leonardo Haro. Lakers halted on that attack. And Garcia Bennett gets it off his head for Roosevelt. Second try for Garcia Bennett is lost to Avalos. Headed back and forth towards the sideline. Avalos keeps it inbounds. Downfield towards Shkidchenko. He can't get to it. It is headed out by Carmel Sabuti Teddy. Throw in for the Fighting Saints. They're into the attacking third of the field. Santa Marta to the middle, intercepted. Roosevelt comes back the other way, and the Saints clear it quickly this time. Neither team able to hold on to the ball right now. We've seen changes of possession almost constantly. Here's a long run that Roosevelt can't get to. Eduardo Hernandez was trying to catch up to that ball. It was that Anthony Aldape. Aldape was trying to catch up to that ball. But the Saints got there first. So Roosevelt has to settle for the throw-in, which is knocked back to Garcia Bennett. Now closer to the middle of the field, it's Gerardo Flores. Flores sends it back to the defense in the midfield circle. Big kick down towards the edge of the box, deflected back, and a foul called on the Lakers. So not much to report so far in this game. Neither team able to hold on to the ball consistently here. Our pass percentage has not been fantastic. A lot of changes of possession. The ball just kind of drifting back and forth here. In midfield, who can take possession this time? Not the Saints. Leonardo Haro gives it up. Roosevelt takes over. Aldape on the run. Carson Hegland steps up and takes the ball off of Aldape's foot. Before he can get a shot off, Hegland makes his presence felt. Pushed right back out of bounds for a Roosevelt throw-in from just ahead of midfield. Tossed in along the sideline. I think we got a little shove there. Foul called on Edward Luna on a push from behind. Free kick for Roosevelt. They're just over 30 yards out. On their right sideline, right along that sideline. A lot of jostling for position going on in the box. There's a header out of bounds. Knocked out by Jesus Flores. And we'll get a corner kick from the opposite end of the field for the Lakers. Set up by Aldape in that far corner. Aldape's position. There's the kick. Goes to the back post. Deflected towards Hegland, and Hegland makes the save. Right off the corner kick, a shot from Emmanuel Castanon. And Hegland was right on top of it. First chance for him to make a save today, and he passes that test with flying colors. Here comes Shkidchenko on the run. He can't get there. Mario Graciano, senior from Thornwood in Chicago's south suburbs, steps in and makes the play before Shkidchenko can get there. We remain scoreless. A little bit over 16 minutes into this game now. At midfield, it's Shkidchenko chasing it down, headed back by Roosevelt at the circle. And controlled by the St. Francis defense. See if they can make a run from the defensive end. Edward Luna deflected right back to him, sent ahead to Santos Contreras. Contreras can't get to it before it's intercepted. And now a whistle and a foul called against St. Francis. This is Hernandez. Hernandez ahead for Rubio. Alan Rubio puts it in front of the net and just out in front of Aldape as the ball rolls out of bounds for a goal kick. Good setup for Roosevelt. Hernandez made a good run all the way down to the back line. Put it in front of the net for Aldape. Aldape could not get the kick on it. Not what he was looking for. The ball ends up going out of bounds. Aldape takes a jump onto the crossbar, hung off the goal for a second or two, just in frustration for his inability to score that time. Anthony Aldape does have one goal this season for Roosevelt. Lakers as a team have scored 8 of them. Only Eduardo Hernandez has more than one. So they've had 8 different goals from 7 different players. A little bit of a different story on St. Francis' side. Their goal scoring is not nearly as balanced, pretty lopsided. We got 2 guys bumping into one another there. Anders Santa Marta and Luis Areola. Areola was on the ground as Santa Marta went for the ball and tripped over him, so a foul is called on Areola. Kick is away from Avalos right into the middle of the field. Here's Flores. Flores takes it to the outside, along the sideline, deflected towards that line and out of bounds by the Fighting Saints, or by the Lakers. So nope, the Lakers will get the throw. Good challenge from Sergio Fernandez Arango, but he can't keep it in bounds. Roosevelt knocks it out. Throw incoming. Good defense that time by the Fighting Saints. They're able to reclaim possession. Here's Santos Contreras trying to turn it back to the middle. He can't do it against two defenders. The Lakers take possession. Rubio to his left. This is Hernandez. Hernandez working one-on-one against Santa Marta. Finally gives it up. Gets it right back. Rolled off to the right side and cleared by the Fighting Saints. So long run there by Eduardo Hernandez, but at the end of the day, really didn't have anything going. So he and the Lakers lose the ball, at least for the moment. And the Saints will make their first substitution of the game. Dominic Barwolik is in for the Fighting Saints as Eric Vega heads off towards the sideline. I think there was Alfredo Guzman who came in place of Luis Arriola for Roosevelt. Throw in for the Saints. And Fernandez Arango's header deflects the other way by Roosevelt and out of bounds. Lakers get a throw in as they begin their attack here down into St. Francis territory. They look to make their way back to the middle of the field. Now cut back to the outside. And we've got some contact and a foul. Roosevelt plays it quickly here from the midfield. Down towards Hernandez. Hegland plays it on a short hop. Not an easy hop for Hegland there. Played it a little bit below the waist on that bounce, but he couldn't afford to wait back on it because the Lakers were ready to make their move. Instead, Hegland comes up with another stop. It's still scoreless, almost halfway through this first half. We've got plenty of time to go. In the 22nd minute right now. Back to the defensive line again of St. Francis. Haro sends it deep with his left foot out of bounds along that sideline near midfield. A throw in for Roosevelt. Turning towards the net, Eldape. Looking to work something out. Well defended all the way though. And Eldape ends up losing it out of bounds. Edward Luna didn't even need to touch that ball. He just applied the pressure and waited for Eldape to make a mistake. That's exactly what ended up happening. Back to the goalkeeper of Roosevelt, Mario Graciano. Hasn't had much going in his direction for a while. Roosevelt has kept it over here these last several minutes. To the back line, Hunter Foose tries to get in the way and does, forcing that ball out of bounds. So it'll be a goal kick. Carson Hegland has it set up. There's the kick, a low line drive, headed back the other way by Hernandez. Goes over the head of Fernandez Arango, and that allows Roosevelt to get it back. And they lose it as the Saints give it a big kick down the far side of the field. Shkidchenko gives it a run, but Graciano boxes everybody out, waits for that one to bounce into his box area where he's allowed to pick up the ball. And then he does just that, rolling it to the left, giving Sabuti Teddy the chance to start things off. Hernandez is grabbed by Isaac Avalos, and Avalos is called for the foul. There's a shot deflected by the defense, loose into the box and cleared again by St. Francis. Rubio steps up, doesn't have a play. Instead, it's St. Francis' turn to make their way downfield. Fernandez Arango ahead to Shkidchenko, well defended by Sabuti Teddy, among others. For Roosevelt, they prevent the fast break by the Fighting Saints, but the Saints still have a chance here. Fernandez Arango is out of bounds. We're going the other way. Throw in from Garcia Bennett. Headed back to the middle. Contreras is able to get his foot on that ball to Shkidchenko, but whistle blows. We got a foul on Roosevelt. Santos Contreras taken to the ground as he kicked that ball off to Shkidchenko. And so St. Francis gets the free kick. "30 yards out, right side. It's Shkidchenko taking the kick. 3 Laker defenders stand back 7 yards behind the play. There's the kick. Gets around the 3 defenders, but it is played on one hop by the goalkeeper, Mario Graciano. Good to see Shkidchenko setting up opportunities for himself, though. Came into play today with 44 shots taken this season. Here's Rodriguez on the other end. Rodriguez deflected out of bounds. Carson Hegland had him read pretty well the whole way. Corner kick for Roosevelt. There's the kick on one bounce, just past the header of Sabuti Teddy, and the Saints are able to clear. Jesus Flores down the field, knocked out of bounds. Back over to Graciano. Graciano gets rid of the ball very quickly this time. Here come the Lakers again. This is Rubio. Shkidchenko clears it for the Saints to Contreras. Off towards Flores, and Flores won't get there. It's out of bounds. Flores made his run at that ball. So did Sergio Fernandez Arango. But now it's Roosevelt in control. Graciano, who has been more and more evolved lately, but still hasn't had to make any tough saves today, sends it across midfield. Back in the direction of Hegland. The ball dies in front of the box. And that means that Hegland didn't get a chance to play it on a couple of hops. Instead, he needed some help from his defense. Defense was able to get back and send it out of bounds. Avalos pushed it towards the sideline. Throw in once again for Garcia Bennett. Gerardo Flores sends it into the box, and Hegland tracks it down and scoops it up right along that back line. Hegland's free kick. Avalos can't control it. Here comes Roosevelt. There's a nice play defensively by the Fighting Saints. Leonardo Haro is able to knock it out of bounds. Throw in for Garcia Bennett. Garcia Bennett sends it high in the air. Hegland goes even higher to pull it in. Well, maybe not higher. He went as high as he needed to in order to catch that ball. Here's Hunter Foose for the Fighting Saints. Across midfield, down the middle of the field. Deflected off for Shkidchenko. They were looking for Contreras. Shkidchenko there instead. Zakar Shkidchenko trying to get around a couple of defenders. Passes it back behind him. Santa Marta over to the near sideline. Flores. Right back to Anders Santa Marta. Now down to Contreras. One touch to Shkidchenko. He puts himself in position, takes the shot, and rolls it wide to the left. 3 defenders closing in. Shkidchenko did not have time to take one more dribble before taking that shot. So he got it off when he needed to. Good ball movement there all around by the Fighting Saints. Nice pass from Contreras to Shkidchenko, and Shkidchenko appeared to be in a spot where he could score, but he just missed it to the left. Not his best shot. He had scored 7 goals, remember, in the last 2 games combined. Still looking for his first today. The Saints are still looking for their first today. In fact, the game is looking for its first. 0-0 with 16 minutes to play in the first half. Contreras heads it out of bounds. Headed back by Avalos. Flores jumps in and a foul is called. Foul on the Fighting Saints. Lakers get the free kick. Near the sideline, 30 yards out. Near side of the field. Sebastian Rodriguez has it set. They haven't tried to put any of these kicks directly on goal yet today. They don't hear either. They go to the back post where it's headed into the air, and Hegland is there to scoop it up. That's the second time today that St. Francis has nearly had some trouble with a header and the ball getting loose. It went right back towards the net. But Hegland was in the position he needed to be in order to make that stop. Header from Shkidchenko. Header that time from Leonardo Haro. Back towards Shkidchenko. And it's taken away from him. Good steal by Hunter Foose. Solid tackle there. Now a trip called against Roosevelt. Free kick for the Saints from right at midfield. Right down the middle. Contreras hits it up into the air. Shkidchenko heads it right back down. And it's stolen away. Here's Avalos coming in from the back end. Nothing to it for him. His shot is intercepted. Foul is called on St. Francis. Haro used a Roosevelt player as leverage there. Pushed him to the ground. As he rose to try to make that play. He did make the play, but it's Roosevelt ball. Down the field towards the box. Hegland lets it go out of bounds. It's a goal kick. Scoreless so far in this one. Roosevelt is a team that has thrived on defense this year. They've allowed 9 goals on the season in 5 games. They've scored 8. They've got a dead even record of 2-2-1. But they haven't scored a ton. Deflected out of bounds on St. Francis. Fighting Saints have been much better offensively of late. They were shut out in their first 2 games of the year. But have at least 1 goal in 6 straight, including a 7-goal output last Saturday. They scored 7 in a win at Indiana Northwest, but so far it's been a defensive game today. Lakers trying to push it down past the St. Francis defense. Haro makes a sliding stop, tries to turn it upfield. He does, but right back into the waiting chest of a Roosevelt offensive player. Battle for the ball near midfield, won by the Lakers. Here's Hernandez. Eduardo Hernandez going against Avalos, gets the ball back. Hernandez takes the shot and a sliding save made by Hegland. The ball is loose in front of the net. Hegland trips in front of it and it trickles in. But we had a whistle before the goal. And a foul, I think, on Roosevelt here. So Hegland apparently had initially made the save. And then he lost the ball as he tripped over his own teammate. I think it was Jesus Flores who was down there. But pushed into the trip, I believe. And so a foul is called on Roosevelt. There's no goal. Hegland does get credit for the nice save on the sliding stop. And then a bizarre play after that. But it ends up going the Saints' way. We still are scoreless. with just about 11 minutes only to play in the first half. There's a good chance that this one gets decided in the second half, although so many do. Towards Contreras, a little bit too tall for him. And headed into the box, picked up by Graciano. Graciano gives a big kick into the wind. Kind of dies as soon as it went up there. Drops right around midfield. To the sideline, it's Rubio. Rubio back to the middle of the field. That touch deflected away. And it is sent out of bounds. Throw in here for Roosevelt. Lucas Garcia Bennett will try to set up a scoring chance for the Lakers. And it's knocked out of bounds once again. Santos Contreras this time. Garcia Bennett will toss it in again, this time with 10 minutes to play in the first half. Running short on time here for a first half goal. Garcia Bennett is taken to the ground by Contreras, but they play on. Here's Skidchenko. Skidchenko forced off the ball by Gerardo Flores. There's Jesus Flores for St. Francis, not able to control it. Hernandez instead for Roosevelt. And Hernandez is tripped, and this time a whistle does blow. And the free kick belongs to the Lakers. About 30 yards out. Pretty good range here for Roosevelt as they try to make something happen out of this free kick. Sebastian Rodriguez has it set up. Rodriguez is one of the 7 players on Roosevelt to have scored a goal this year. He may be trying to do so again right here, at least set somebody else up. His pass does not set anybody up. He sends it directly out of bounds, far on the outside of the field, well wide of the net. So I'm assuming that was a pass. Didn't look like a shot, but much too hard to really cajole anybody into taking a shot or even have an opportunity to. Here comes Roosevelt. And there's the stop initially from Haro. The Lakers get it back. A shot and a diving save by Hegland. Good save by Hegland on the shot from Marvin Lopez of Roosevelt. Hegland's been pretty busy in this first half, particularly the last 20 minutes or so. He's gotten the job done as Contreras heads it back towards Graciano. Mario Graciano secures a much easier play on his side of the field. Roosevelt back on the offensive, but Hunter Foose jumps in the way. Knocks the ball from Roosevelt's clutches. Tries to start the counterattack for St. Francis. Down the far sideline. Here's a good run, a trip, and we've got a foul called. Looks like we'll get a yellow card here as well. Yellow card given to Jonathan Hernandez of Roosevelt. And the Fighting Saints will get a free kick coming out of this. So the Saints 28 yards out off to the left side will get their chance to break a scoreless tie. A very similar spot on the field, almost identical to the one in which the Lakers got a free kick a few moments ago that didn't go anywhere. See if this one does for the Fighting Saints with just over 7.5 minutes on the clock. Clock stopped for the yellow card. We're ready to continue now, though. Jesus Flores takes the kick. Low line drive deflected back outside. And the Saints lose it out of bounds. Sergio Fernandez Arango came in and tried to make the play on that one after it was deflected back off the initial free kick, but nothing worked out. Out of bounds for a Saints throw-in. Diego Hernandez is in for St. Francis. Fighting Saints and Lakers tied up at 0 late in the first half. Hernandez getting an early touch after just coming in. And he hits the ground. The flag goes up. The whistle blows. Foul on St. Francis. So Hernandez wastes no time in getting himself involved in the action. Just came off the bench. Went on a little run right off the bat and then called for the foul. Trying to get the ball back after he lost it. Hunter Foose heads it back to Fernandez Arango. He can't keep it alive. Off to the far sideline and sent downfield by Roosevelt. Some clearance from Foose. Back towards the sideline and kept in bounds by the Saints. No, it was not. It's out of bounds. And it's Roosevelt's throw. They send it back to the defense. Try to work their way forward from there with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Headed towards the line, out of bounds by St. Francis. Saints take it away. Defense has played very well today for St. Francis. Roosevelt has put a lot of pressure on the Saints, and it's the Lakers team that comes in with sky-high confidence after the way they've played the last couple of games. They have been dominant winners twice in a row. Saints are still trying to get back on track, even as they have started to right the ship, and at a perfect timing right at the start of conference season. They went on a 2-game unbeaten streak, trying to make it 3 today, but they've struggled to develop any chances against Roosevelt. Now there are 2 balls on the field, so a quick stoppage so they get rid of one of those. And it's going to be a free kick for Roosevelt as we continue. Mario Graciano's got it set. Too high for the leap from Isaac Avalos. Tapped out of bounds. Another throw in for the Lakers. Rodriguez into Hernandez. Hernandez gets it back on the pass. Hernandez takes a shot and Hegland makes another nice save. 2 diving saves made today by Carson Hegland. He's made every save he's had an opportunity to. Having an excellent game in net so far, Carson Hegland. Man who does not play very often, but he's getting the start today. Entering play today, Hegland had appeared in 3 other games, but those 3 games only totaled about the length of 2 games, 180 minutes. Free kick for the Saints. Avalos down the middle of the field. Jesus Flores right back down the middle. Roosevelt trying to clear. Deflected back, though, by the Fighting Saints towards their left side. Down in the corner, looking for the cross. In front of the net, Shkidchenko passed it back. Now a battle for the ball. It is won by Zakhar Shkidchenko. And Shkidchenko loses it on second effort. Back to midfield. Saints still in control, though, as they tried to once again apply that kind of pressure to the Lakers. With under 3 minutes to play in the half, here's Sebastian Rodriguez. Rodriguez makes his run, cuts it back towards the middle. Pass forward for Rubio. Rubio can't get control of it off the first touch, and the Saints clear it out of bounds. Throw in here for Roosevelt, but potential for disaster. Throw in for St. Francis, rather. The potential for disaster was averted by the Fighting Saints. Good defense once again. They've played good defense all throughout this one. And finishing with their goalkeeper, Carson Hegland, who's had a nice game in net so far. Making a rare start for the season. Knocked out of bounds by Jesus Flores. Into the middle of the field. There's a shot, and Hagelin dives for it. As it goes out of bounds, we're going to have a corner kick here for Roosevelt. Shot from Gerardo Flores there. I think Hagelin got a piece of it as he dove. That one was going well wide of the left of that net, so he really had no need to dive there. It may have cost the Fighting Saints this corner kick. Could be the last real scoring chance that they have in this game. Corner goes past everybody towards the back side of the play and out of bounds for a St. Francis throw-in. Throw in from Edward Luna. He steps up, forces it down the sideline. Pushed ahead across midfield and all the way back to the goalkeeper, Mario Graciano, who's standing 20 or so yards outside the net, just soaking it all in. Ball downfield once again. Long run to catch up to it. There's the cross in front of the net. Caught on the pop fly there as it came down by Mario Graciano. We're down to our final 30 seconds of the half. And it looks like we're going to be going into a scoreless half. Does either of these two teams have the opportunity to get one more shot off? Doesn't look like it. The ball's kicked back out of bounds there. And the Saints are taking their time, so it looks like they'll be content to go into the break with a 0-0 tie. They are not going to get another shot off here before halftime. So they play it back to the defense, let the defense dribble the clock out. So a good first half, very competitive, scoreless. Some good plays by Carson Hagelin in net for St. Francis. Mario Graciano hasn't had to work quite as hard for Roosevelt so far, as he has been able to routinely pick up anything that's come his way. No tough shots yet from the Fighting Saints. We'll see if that changes in the second 45 minutes of this game. 0-0 is our score at halftime, but plenty more soccer action to come your way. In another 15 minutes or so, we will have half number 2. So for right now, I'll step aside. 0-0 at the break. Start of the second half here in Joliet. We have no score between St. Francis and Roosevelt. Terry Bonadonna back with you for another 45 minutes of soccer. It was an interesting first half. Not a lot of fluid action. A lot of back and forth. Neither team was really able to keep possessions alive as we have begun half number 2. Roosevelt in their black uniforms now has switched sides. They're going from left to right. They've got the wind at their backs. Although the wind has shifted a little bit more of a crosswind. Earlier in the day, I think it was blowing a little bit more direct, straight at the backs of the teams shooting into the south goal, but a little bit more across the field now from the near side to the far side. But it has been a factor in today's soccer action. It's been a very windy day. St. Francis going from right to left on your screen here in the second half. Fighting Saints were outshot in the first half 8-3 as Eric Vega receives this pass across midfield, tries to poke it forward, but loses it out of bounds. I think you can make an argument the most impressive player in the first half of action today was Carson Hegland, the usually reserve goalkeeper for St. Francis, getting a start today. He made 5 saves. A couple of them were very impressive. Roosevelt able to get that ball out of harm's way, but they knock it out of bounds. So a throw in here for St. Francis. And given right back up to the Lakers. Luis Ariola at midfield, coughs it back up. Here come the Saints. Shkidchenko touches it. Trying to get it forward to Barwolek. And now it's back to Shkidchenko on the right side. Down in the corner. Rolls it outside looking for Contreras. Contreras makes a sliding play. Good play by Contreras to keep possession alive, but now he loses it on a good tackle from Roosevelt. Jesus Flores can't keep it alive for St. Francis, but the Fighting Saints defense does step up and knock it downfield. And now we've got a whistle. And the ball going back St. Francis's way with no score here, just over 2 minutes into the second half. Okay, it'll be a free kick for Roosevelt. Run back in their own territory. The Fighting Saints, I said, were outshot 8-3. Shots on goal 5-1. So 5 saves made by Hegland. Mario Graciano was only forced to make 1 save. Not a particularly difficult one, so the Saints don't have any serious scoring threats. Lakers may have one right here down near the back line. Saints are able to get it out of there, and they clear it from the box and work their way back towards midfield. Long run on the far end of the field for Hunter Foos. It's rolled back into the middle. Shkidchenko, nice move around one defender, but the second defender steps up and makes the stop. It was Jonathan Hernandez pushing it out the sideline. Well played by Hernandez there. Saints get the throw in from the far end of the field. Santos Contreras down towards the corner. Barwolek to Fernandez Arango. His pass towards Contreras is intercepted. He's tripped up in the box, but no whistle as we play on, going the other direction now. This is not dissimilar to the way the first half started. St. Francis did have some early opportunities, but failed to get any good shots off, as the foul is called on the Fighting Saints here. But they had possession early in the game, and they really didn't later in that first half. The vast majority of the first half was played either in Roosevelt's attacking zone or in the midfield. The ball kind of going back and forth. And mentioned right at the start of the second half, just not a lot of fluidity to this game as that ball sails out of bounds on the free kick. And that might have been impacted by the wind a little bit. Roosevelt's got to adjust to the wind blowing more in their favor now than it was in the first half. But the second half has kind of begun the same way, 4 minutes in. Not a lot of fluidity. A lot of back and forth. Neither team able to maintain long possessions. And the Lakers are the only team that's had really any good shots taken. None so far in the second half as that ball is headed out of bounds past Vega. Throw in for St. Francis. Luna steps up to throw it in. Tosses into Jesus Flores. Towards the middle of the field, intercepted, knocked back the other way. This is Foose. Rolling it forward towards Vega. Vega down to the corner for Luna. Luna looking for help over the middle. Deflected out of bounds off the flag and out for a corner kick. So a good opportunity here for the Fighting Saints. This is their second corner kick of the game. Here's the corner kick from Contreras. Deflected back and past Jesus Flores, meaning Eduardo Hernandez is able to take over for Roosevelt. Hernandez punches it past Flores. Nice job by the Laker to keep it alive and not allow St. Francis to take it back in their direction. And now Roosevelt gets it across midfield. Big kick from Jonathan Hernandez. Intercepted. Saints have it once again. At midfield, it's Shkidchenko. Shkidchenko with a couple of defenders in his way. Passes it off to Fernandez Arango. Looking back to the right side. Deflected. There's an interception from Leonardo Haro. His ball downfield is headed back by the Lakers. And pushed ahead towards the box. Hegland jumps up and is able to pull that ball down. The punt from Hegland is a line drive across midfield. Here comes Jesus Flores, runs in to Gerardo Flores, who takes it away. And knocked out of bounds by Hunter Foose, high up into the bleachers. Bleachers are entirely in shadow now as the shadows start to creep towards the field itself. A sunny Saturday, but as we reach towards the end of September, the sun will be setting only about an hour or so after this game, so the shadows settle in a little bit earlier. It shouldn't have much of an impact, though, on the field as long as this one is going. There's a shot. Hegland deflects it, and it is a save by Carson Hegland as it goes out of bounds for a corner kick. Great save by Hegland and a nice opportunity for Roosevelt. Just got his hand on the ball. And off the deflection, it was hard to tell if he had gotten enough of it to keep the momentum out of the net, but he did get enough. Just barely grazed past the posts and went out of bounds. Here's Sebastian Rodriguez on the corner kick. Sent right out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick. So Hegland saves, stands up. Nothing on the board for Roosevelt, and the Saints are able to send it down the other way. 8 minutes into the second half. Still no score between a St. Francis team that has scored at least once in 6 consecutive games and a Roosevelt team that's coming off of back-to-back shutouts. So something's got to give today. So far, it has been a shutout for Roosevelt, but a shutout for St. Francis as well. Dominic Barwolak tripped up as he makes his way towards that ball. Slowed him down just enough that he couldn't get there, but it does go out of bounds off of the Lakers. So the Saints get a throw in from deep down in the corner. And it's Edward Luna who will toss the ball back in play as close to the corner as he can get. And that's over the net and out of bounds off the foot of Barwolak. Nothing doing that time for the Saints. Still 0-0 here. So on the one side, you have to give credit to Roosevelt's defense. Really slowing down a hot offense. Not only have the Saints scored in 6 consecutive, but their last 2 games have featured 10 total goals. So they've been definitely playing their best offensive soccer in recent games, and they're starting to come around offensively in a way in which they struggled early in the season as that ball is knocked out of bounds by Roosevelt. That means we got another corner kick coming up for St. Francis. Saints, however, have not been able to turn things around defensively. They've given up multiple goals in all but one game this year, and they do not yet have a shutout this season. Santos Contreras goes down to the corner, trying to break this dry spell offensively. In front of the net, headed away. Shkidchenko tracks it down on the back end, keeps the pressure on as it's knocked out of bounds. So that'll drop the pressure back a little bit. The Saints have to drop their defense back into position. Ball's thrown into the box and cleared quickly by Roosevelt. So St. Francis is shut out today on the defensive end. Still early in the second half. So it's a shutout so far, but plenty of time for Roosevelt to put some on the board. And they have come close a few times here, but the shutout up to this point for St. Francis is a rarity just in that, again, they haven't had one yet this year. They gave up one goal in a 7-1 win against Indiana Northwest last weekend. And that's the best they've done. Coming into today, they had allowed 24 goals in 8 games, a simple average of 3 goals exactly per game. Here's Sabuti Teddy knocking it out of bounds off of St. Francis. Garcia Bennett tosses it in to Gerardo Flores. Flores rolls it to the near side. Big kick downfield from Emmanuel Castanon. Down towards the corner and out of bounds along the sideline. Roosevelt will throw it in from there. There's the shot deflected. I think that was Rubio who took that shot, Alan Rubio. Couldn't get it towards the net, though. Good deflection by the St. Francis defense. Now here comes Flores, trying to get ahead to Shkidchenko, and some space for Shkidchenko. Zakar Shkidchenko out in front of him, tries to put it past, and it is out of bounds. He got it by Mario Graciano, but he could not get it into the net. Just didn't quite direct it where he wanted it to. Great opportunity for Zakar Shkidchenko. Flew by the defense there, just not quite able to finish it off. Far and away the best scoring chance of the game right there for St. Francis. But they're not able to finish it off, and we remain scoreless. So already this second half has seen opportunities for both teams. Better than any that they had in the first half. And the shot a little bit earlier in the half for Roosevelt was stopped by a great save by Carson Hegland. This time Shkidchenko just not quite able to finish. Can he finish this time? No, a diving save by Mario Graciano. Another good setup into the box for Shkidchenko. This time, though, a good save by Graciano. Shkidchenko not able to get his full force behind that shot, and so it was well positioned this time, but just not enough force to get it past the goalkeeper. Hegland picks this ball up easily and punts it away, and now the Saints are on the attack once again. Down on the far side of the field, here's Contreras sliding to try to keep it alive, and he does. Good ball work by Santos Contreras. Now Contreras looks in front of him, 2 defenders in his way, and they're able to take it away. Throw in for Roosevelt. Down the sideline, controlled by Areola. Taps it off to Flores. Gerardo Flores down the field, intercepted. Roosevelt can't get possession back. Here comes Fernandez Arango, slowing things down. Contreras on the far side. Works his way down the field. Contreras sends into the box. Headed by Shkidchenko over to Vega. Vega controls, takes the shot, deflected, right back to Vega. Now to Shkidchenko, just out of his reach. So he extended his right leg, couldn't get there. Here comes Hernandez. Eduardo Hernandez knocked off of him and out of bounds. I think we got a handball there from St. Francis, but his play continued for Eduardo Hernandez. Flag went down. Hernandez kept going forward, and the ball went out of bounds for a corner kick. Sebastian Rodriguez down into the corner to send this one away. Now with just a half hour to play, every Every time we get into a spot like this, it's magnified a little bit. Punched up into the air by Hagelin, stays in bounds, down to the far side, or the near side rather. The opposite side of the corner kick. It's knocked out of bounds for a throw-in. So well played by St. Francis. Hagelin was able to make the initial stop. And then nobody there on the back end of the play to clean it up. Tossed in towards the back line, headed into the corner and out of bounds. That's a throw-in. A tough fall for Edward Luna of the Fighting Saints. He came down more on the track than he did on the field. That'll scrape you up a little bit. Throw in for Roosevelt. Tossed into the box and headed out, this time towards the back line, and they tried to save it, couldn't do it. So here's going to be a corner kick. Second corner kick in the span of the last minute for Roosevelt. Set up by Marvin Lopez this time. Lopez on the near side corner. Goes in front of the net, deflected in front and into the back of the net. Goal scored by Eduardo Hernandez in the 62nd minute. Hernandez has his third goal of the season, and Roosevelt is on top for the first time today. It comes off the corner kick, back-to-back corner attempts, one from either side, and the second one gets them on the board and into the lead. Carson Hagelin has had a great game in net, but that time just a lot of confusion in front of the net. And they were able to poke one past him. So now a little more pressure on St. Francis. I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, to get to this stage of the game, every big opportunity is magnified because it just feels like it could be the game winner. But the Saints do still have plenty of time here. 28.5 minutes to try to make their way back and score one to tie it up. 2 to take the lead. Now again, this is an offense that has been performing well of late. 10 goals their last 2 games coming into play today. Most of them by Shkidchenko, who had a couple of opportunities in the second half so far today. Just missed on one a few minutes ago. Leonardo Haro takes the free kick off the head of Contreras and out of bounds. Goal kick for the Lakers. Roosevelt leads it 1-0. Trying to pick up their third consecutive conference win. Their only loss came in their opener against Cardinal Stritch. Todor Simonovic is into the game for Roosevelt now. Sophomore from Serbia. Luna back to Foose. Foose taps it forward. And Simonovic jumps in and gets his first touch of the game. Off the head of Sergio Fernandez Arango, who cannot control it. Roosevelt takes it back. Gerardo Flores to the outside. Now run back to the middle. Hernandez down in front of the net and out of bounds. So another corner kick coming up for Roosevelt. They've had 8 of them, or 6 rather. 3 in the last 3 minutes, and one of them resulted in a goal. It was set up by Marvin Lopez. And Lopez will take this one as well. Headed away by the Saints. Contreras. It's a big kick downfield to Shkidchenko, a jumping kick. Shkidchenko, nice ball work, trying to get around Simonovic. He does, trying to get it back, and Garcia Bennett steps in his way and knocks it out of bounds. Saints still in possession here as Luna works to get the ball back in. Tapped back to Foose. Hunter Foose into the middle of the field. Nothing doing. A late whistle. I think now we get the handball called. So free kick coming up here for Roosevelt. Nursing a 1-goal lead. Saints have had a number of opportunities here in the second half. Most of those opportunities came with a chance to move ahead by a goal because we were scoreless at the time. Now that Roosevelt is in front, any of those opportunities would produce at best a tie, but still they have kept the defense of the Lakers back on their heels a little bit, and with that in mind, the Lakers don't want to be complacent with their 1 goal. Looking to add to it here. Into the box. Passed back. Controlled 30 yards from the net, now pulled back. Simonovic's kick is grounded, and the Saints are easily able to intercept it. Downfield for Shkidchenko along the sideline. He's pushed, and we got a whistle and a foul. So a free kick here for St. Francis. This will be from about 25 yards out, with about 25 minutes to play in the second half. The Fighting Saints look for that equalizer. Santos Contreras sets the ball up, left side of the net. Most of his offense positioned off on the right side as Luna goes to join the rest of the pack. Contreras all alone behind this ball. And it's deflected away. The initial kick deflected back. And now out of bounds. So after the yellow card, nothing comes of it offensively for the Saints. They'll get another chance to make their way downfield as they make a substitution here. Diego Hernandez is into the game. I think that makes it 3 Hernandez's total in the game right now. 2 of them on Roosevelt's side. And Diego Hernandez in for the Fighting Saints. We got 2 Floreses as well. Have remained alarmingly unconfused. I probably have been confused sometimes. Shkidchenko by the defense takes a shot, and a great save by Mario Graciano. And now we've got another yellow card coming up for Roosevelt. Shkidchenko grabbed from behind there by Emmanuel Castanon. Graciano stepped in, made the great save, but the Saints will get another opportunity now just outside the box, so it's not a penalty kick. But another great run by Zakar Shkidchenko. He's really turned it up here in the second half. He's had some incredible runs towards the net, just hasn't quite been able to finish any of them yet. And now, thanks to the yellow card, the Saints will have a chance to help him finish this one off with a free kick from 19 yards out. It is Shkidchenko and Flores behind the ball right now. Shkidchenko will take the kick with the left foot, and it's in. We're tied at 1. Shkidchenko off the foul scores his 10th goal of the season. That's number 8 for him in just the last 3 games. And with just under 24 minutes to play, looks like they're talking this one over now. This may be coming off the board. So I'm not sure what the ruling is here. St. Francis is not happy with it. But the goal is off the board, and it is 1-0 Roosevelt. Shkidchenko has been given a yellow card for arguing the call with the official. I'm not sure what the call was, why this goal was disallowed, and Dan Cross wants an explanation as well as he comes out to talk with today's referee, Shane Richards. And Dan Cross has been given a yellow card. So 3 yellow cards have been given since the last second has been ticked off the clock. One set up the free kick for Shkidchenko, on which he apparently scored. When that goal was taken off the board, Shkidchenko was given a yellow card for arguing. Dan Cross, the same thing for his part in the argument. But no goal for the Fighting Saints. And it's still 1-0 Roosevelt. So Mario Graciano will get the free kick here. And Graciano sends it away with his side once again leading by a goal. Roosevelt scored in the 62nd minute. Eduardo Hernandez made it 1-0. And apparently, just about 5 minutes later, St. Francis had tied it up on the free kick that was overruled after the fact. Sent into the box, headed away by Carmel Sabuti Teti, and we're at midfield, sent down towards the near sideline by Roosevelt and out of bounds. Saints will get a throw in here. Shkidchenko's shot on that free kick went straight in over the head of Mario Graciano. Initially, there did not seem to be anything wrong with it, but after the head referee went over to talk to the line judge, it was overruled, so maybe somebody was set up offsides on the play. Towards the sideline, out of bounds. Throw in for Roosevelt here. It makes the uphill climb just a little steeper for the Fighting Saints, who are back down by 1 and trying to break this long shutout streak that Roosevelt's got going. And over 4 hours now in game time since the Lakers have allowed a goal. Down into the box, Hegland steps up, poked over his head and over the net. Chance for Alan Rubio. And Rubio got it over the goalkeeper, but a little bit too high. Couldn't drop it down where he wanted to. So it's out for a goal kick for Hegland. Just under 22 minutes to play, so we're more than halfway through this second half. Here come the Lakers once again. Areola making his way right down the center of the field. Takes a shot and another nice save by Hegland. One of these two goalkeepers today has a shutout, and it's not Carson Hegland, it's Mario Graciano, but Hegland has made the highlight reel saves throughout the game today. He's had a heck of a day in net. And another nice one right there. And he keeps the Saints within 1 as this ball rolls out of bounds. A throw in for the Fighting Saints. Luna tosses it in. It was, I think, knocked down. I don't know if Simonovic actually touched that ball. It looked like he may have tipped it, but he reached his hand out to try to block the throw-in, which obviously is not allowed. So he's given the yellow card. It's just an instinctive thing right there. That one is pretty obviously against the rules. You're not allowed to touch the ball to begin with, let alone block an inbounds pass. So the yellow card is given to Simonovic. Saints were trying to move quickly. They obviously have to slow things down a little bit now as Edward Luna gets the free kick instead of the throw-in. Kicks it into the box, headed back the other way by the Roosevelt defense. Sent back into the box by Fernandez Orango and cleared by Roosevelt. Luna lets it bounce over his head and back out for a throw-in, but it's not his throw. It belongs to Roosevelt. Simonovic tosses it in. Luna takes it away. Tap back to Foose, playing against Alan Rubio. Leonardo Haro pushes it downfield. Here's Flores. Jesus Flores, a sky-high kick that's headed back into the box towards Mario Graciano, who's able to scoop it up. Back in the midfield circle, Areola pushes it forward for Roosevelt. Saints get it back defensively. This is Eduardo Hernandez. Hernandez working against Santos Contreras. Contreras, good tackle off the ball. And now Contreras is in control of it. And he is tackled off the ball by Alan Rubio, but it finds its way to Jesus Flores, so the Saints keep their attack moving unabated. And now whistle blows. Foul is called against the Lakers. That ball sent off to the right side. And towards the sideline out of bounds, Roosevelt will get to throw it back in. Leonardo Haro is able to get the touch on that ball at midfield over the head of Jesus Flores. Edward Luna jumps in with the head, but taken away once again by the Lakers towards the sideline. Flores trying to keep it on his team's side, but he can't. It's lost out of bounds to the Lakers with about 18:40 on the clock now. Roosevelt has a 1-goal lead. Lead was in jeopardy briefly, but the apparent game-tying goal scored by Zakar Shkidchenko on a free kick was overruled and taken off the board. Throw coming for the Fighting Saints. Saints trail 1-0. The goal scored here in the second half. It's been a much more interesting second half overall, I think, than the first. Not a lot happened in the first 45 minutes, but here in the second half, we've seen our lone goal scored. We've seen another apparent goal disallowed. We've seen 5 different yellow cards, all of them here in the second half. Or rather, 4 of the 5 yellow cards were in the second half, but it's been an interesting run of things. Here's Anthony Aldape off to the left side and out of bounds. So the Fighting Saints set up downfield here as they get to take this kick from about 10 yards beyond midfield. Kick is sent away by Isaac Avalos to the edge of the box and knocked off by Roosevelt. The Lakers are able to get it back on their attacking side of the field as Eduardo Hernandez chases the ball down along the sideline. It rolls out on Hernandez. Throw in goes over the head of Contreras, but he receives it again on the ricochet. Lakers take it back down into the box, scooped up by Hegland. Hegland tosses it off to Anthony Durka on the near side. Again, whistle blows against Roosevelt. Jesus Flores stumbles as he goes after that ball, trying to receive the pass from Anthony Durka. Durka's passed a little bit out in front of him, and once Flores tripped over his feet, he was not able to get to it. Todor Simonovic tosses it in. Knocked out of bounds. Another throw in for the Fighting Saints. It's Luna. Luna at midfield, throws it out in front of him. Fernandez Arango is called for the foul. Sabuti Teti off to his left, and it's taken away by Fernandez Oranga, and again, he's called for the foul. And this time given the yellow card. There's our 6th of the game, 5th of this half. The 4th of which has been given to a Fighting Saint. That time Fernandez Oranga took out Lucas Garcia Bennett. Take that back. That's the 3rd yellow card to be given to St. Francis. First live action yellow card against St. Francis. The other 2 were both given and arguing a call after the fact. There's Avalos stepping up, heading it off to Durka. Anthony Durka down the sideline to Fernandez Orango, but a whistle blew before that pass, so now a free kick to St. Francis. All of a sudden, we're getting whistles left and right here, slowing down the pace of this game for sure, as the Saints start to run low on the amount of time they have to come back in this one. Down 1-0 with just over 14 minutes to play, sent into the box, headed away, back to Contreras. Contreras takes a shot, deflected away by Roosevelt. I think that was Sabuti Teti who got his foot on the ball and knocked it towards the sideline out of bounds. Saints will throw it in. Crisis averted there by Roosevelt as Contreras looked for a second. Like he was in position to take a good shot, lined it up, just had it deflected away by the defense before it could get to the net. Fernandez Oranga takes it in towards the goal, but he dribbles out of bounds amidst some heavy pressure from Roosevelt's defenders. Goal kick here for the Lakers. Knocks back to the sideline. And Luna can't get a clean kick on it. Taps it out of bounds. Tossed in along the sideline. Foose and Luna tapping it back and forth to each other, and Hunter Foose ends up sending it out of bounds. Throw in here for Todor Simanovic of Roosevelt. Back to Simanovic, who crosses it, and it's cleared by Avalos. Sabuti Teti on the other side of the field. Gets it back in the middle. Now looks to reverse to his right. Sends it high and deep across midfield. Good header by Luna, pushing it ahead to Durka. Durka is forced off the ball by Simanovic. Here comes Marvin Lopez, his jersey being grabbed the whole way. Another yellow card given out. Yellow card to Anthony Durka that time for grabbing at Lopez's jersey as he was trying to make a run down the near sideline. This game has certainly taken a turn over the last half hour or so. Much more physical than it was earlier in the first close to an hour of the game. Sent high into the air, knocked back into the box and cleared by St. Francis. Flores ahead for Fernandez Orango. Sent back the other way by Sabuti Teti, and Hagelin almost overran that, but he was able to adjust with the ball in the air, take a step back and make the catch. To the outside, it's Lopez. Lopez with the cross. Nobody there to receive it. Goes by everybody back towards the sideline. A sliding play is not able to keep the ball in bounds from Ezekiel Rivera. Saints take possession. Here's Durka. Durka loses it to Gerardo Flores. Carson Hegland steps up and makes the stop on that one once again. Hegland's had a good day in net. No save that time, but he's had a bunch of them today. He has allowed the 1 goal, but 7 saves in addition to that. His save percentage for the season is up in the neighborhood of 800. As Santos Contreras checks out for the Fighting Saints. Everybody getting a rest here. He and Zakar Shkidchenko are both on the bench. This is Anders Santamarta down towards the corner. Fernandez Arango is able to keep it in. Looking for some help. He deflects it off the defender. Garcia Bennett out of bounds. Here's a throw in for Daniel Simon. Simon out in front of the net, headed away by Garcia Bennett. Back to Simon, who heads it back into the box. Sent to the outside. Avalos shot deflected and cleared by Roosevelt. Haro sends it right back the other way, but taken away by Roosevelt and out of bounds. Last touched by the Lakers. Here's Jesus Flores into the middle of the field. Intercepted by Garcia Bennett. Out of bounds on the far side this time. Throw in for Roosevelt. Just under 10 minutes now on the clock. Getting late for St. Francis as they try to come from behind. Trailing 1-0 thanks to a 62nd minute goal from Eduardo Hernandez. Came off of Marvin Lopez's corner kick. A couple of deflections in front of the net. And Hernandez knocked it in. It's our only goal so far. St. Francis has had some very close calls, including one that had apparently tied the score at 1 before it was taken off the board. Knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. And Eduardo Hernandez, after a short rest, comes back in for Marvin Lopez. Lopez and Hernandez were both involved in the goal earlier. Assist for Lopez, the goal for Eduardo Hernandez, who now has 3 on the season. Here comes Fernandez Arango, blowing by 2 defenders. The third one steps in, though, and takes it away. Gerardo Flores down the sideline. Fernandez Arango tries to knock it off his foot and knocks it into his foot out of bounds. Nice play by Sergio Fernandez Arango. Gives Daniel Simon the opportunity to throw it in here. Fernandez Arango in the corner. Played very close by Ezequiel Rivera. Now Durka in the box. Durka trying to turn and get position to take a shot. Couldn't find it though. Fernandez Arango watches that ball go out of bounds, and it's out for a corner kick. He was bumped late on the play by Lucas Garcia Bennett. But no whistle blows for that. It's a corner kick. In any case, corner goes to the back post, and Simon heads it over the net. Out of bounds, and that gives the goal kick back to Roosevelt. Saints are starting to run out of opportunities here. They have had their chances since taking that 1-goal deficit. Haven't been able to finish them off. There's a header at midfield. Edward Luna with a man down for Roosevelt. It's going to go St. Francis's way here, but player down for Roosevelt is Omar Flores. Looks like he's grabbing at his side, and the training staff will come out to have a look at him. So with 6 minutes and 57 seconds remaining, the clock is stopped. As As the trainers have a look at Omar Flores, senior from Chicago. Came into the game late. He's up and walking off towards the sideline. Looks like he might have had the wind knocked out of him. I'm not sure that there's anything serious. He jogs off, and he's going to check back in at his next available opportunity. Santos Contreras ready to check back in for the Saints as well at his next opportunity. There's the free kick into the box, headed in front of the net, back up into the air. A collision, and a man down once again for Roosevelt. This time it was Garcia Bennett. And that was a big hit. He's grabbing at the back of his head, but he's up quickly and ready to continue. So a big collision, foul called on St. Francis, but nothing more than that. We're ready to keep going. Mario Graciano, the senior goalie, looking for his third consecutive shutout. After a shaky start to the season in terms of allowing goals, they gave up 9 of them in their first 3 games. Now they're on the verge of 3 straight zeros, cutting that goals allowed average down from 3 to 1.5. And a whistle blows here against Roosevelt. So another free kick for the Fighting Saints. Just under 25 yards out from the left side. Set up by Edward Luna. Another good chance for St. Francis. They've had a lot of them in the second half. Luna pushes it to the back post, punched away by Mario Graciano, and cleared by the Lakers down the sideline. So another big chance for the Fighting Saints is halted by Roosevelt. Luna, after taking that kick, heads to the bench. Contreras is back in. Only out for a couple of minutes there. The ball from Santa Marta nearly lost. They have to send it all the way back to Hegland before they can start pushing forward again. Contreras loses out on that ball to Sabuti Teddy. Foose, pass deflected and out of bounds. Hunter Foose along the sideline. Santos Contreras. Contreras has it poked off of his foot, out of bounds. He'll throw it in once again. Down towards the back line, deflected out by Roosevelt, and it's a corner kick for St. Francis. So their 4th attempt from the corner today. It was a corner kick that saw the only goal of the game scored to this point. Down on the other end. For Roosevelt that time, now a chance for St. Francis on the corner. There's a deflection in front of the net, diving stop by Graciano, the ball loose. St. Francis will get another shot at it, but it is deflected out of bounds. We'll get another corner kick, this time from the opposite side. So here's Contreras reversing corners and trying it once again for the Fighting Saints. Kick drifts a little bit in the breeze and out of everybody's reach. Now the Lakers are trying to quickly counter. It's 2 against 1 on the other end of the field. Rivera sends it into the box, though. Overshoots Eduardo Hernandez. So not the best pass from Ezekiel Rivera, and the Saints catch a break. And now they've got another chance to get down the field in a hurry and try to tie this game up. There's Fernandez Orango losing the ball against 2 Roosevelt defenders. Eldape loses the ball. Back to Santa Marta for St. Francis. Isaac Avalos to the far side. Pushed ahead to Santos Contreras. And now all the way back to the goalkeeper. Mario Graciano is able to clear it. Under 3 minutes to play. Saints still trail by the 1 goal. Trying to tie it up right here. Santa Marta loses possession to Gerardo Flores. Good defense by Flores, and quickly down the other way. Knocked out of bounds by Leonardo Haro. And Roosevelt will get a throw in. Got some substitutions coming in for them first. Alan Rubio and Luis Areola are checking back into the game for the Lakers. The clock stops as the leading team makes a substitution here at 2:38. Roosevelt gets it in down in the corner. Two defenders are right there, and one of them taps it out. So we've got a corner kick here for Roosevelt. And the Saints want things to move a little bit quicker here in the final 2+ minutes. So Flores grabs it, sets it up. He gives a nice hand to Aldape. Kick is away. Knocked back towards the back line by Carson Hegland. So another play from Hegland sends it back out for another corner kick. Another one sent in by Aldape, headed up in the air by St. Francis towards the sideline and out of bounds. And the game has halted just in this part of the field right here. It's all it took from Roosevelt. One big defensive stop. They were able to send it down this way. St. Francis knocked it out of bounds, and since then nothing much has happened. But it's been over a minute that the ball has not moved from this corner for Roosevelt. So they continue to try to let this clock run down with the 1-goal lead they've got now. Another throw in for Roosevelt. So now the Saints are really running out of time. They may only have enough left on the clock for one more counterattack, assuming they ever get possession of the ball back. Simonovic loses it. Saints do push it finally back into the middle of the field. And here's Durka trying to set something up moving forward for the Saints. Out for a throw-in. And now the Saints have 60 seconds left to try to get the ball back down. Santos Contreras is shoved from behind by Simonovic. And that means we'll get a throw-in for Roosevelt. Clock stops. 47 seconds. The Lakers throw it in. So I thought the whistle was for the foul. Was not the case. Now Roosevelt still in control of it. Saints trying to get it back. There's a shot, and it sails over the net. Hegland needs the ball back quickly. He can get this goal kick off and get one last force going ahead for St. Francis. One last push for the Fighting Saints as they try to tie this thing up and send it to overtime. Far end of the field. It's Fernandez Orango. Ahead for Anthony Durka. And it's out of bounds. The throw-in belongs to Roosevelt, and that might do it for the Fighting Saints. The Lakers will take their time on this. With 10 seconds left, they're taking their time on the free kick. And they might take enough time that the Saints don't touch it again. The final buzzer blows, and that's the final score, 1-0. Roosevelt comes out on top of St. Francis here in this conference matchup, and a good game. It just does not quite go St. Francis's way as they are shut out for the first time since August 26th when they fell here to Mount Mercy 2-0. Just the third time this year they've been shut out, but the first time since their first two games. It snaps a string of 6 in a row in which they've scored at least one goal. But for Roosevelt, they have been tough to score on of late. This is the third consecutive match that they have secured a shutout. They have outscored their opponents now 6-0 in their last 3 games combined. And this one was won by Roosevelt on a corner kick in the 62nd minute after a scoreless and not thrilling first half in which there weren't all that many good scoring chances. There were a couple for Roosevelt. Carson Hegland made a couple of nice saves that kept it at 0-0 at halftime. The second half started with a little bit more action. Both teams put some pressure on. Both teams got a few more scoring opportunities, but it wasn't until that 62nd minute corner kick. Marvin Lopez sent it in, deflected by Luis Arreola in front of the net, and off to Eduardo Hernandez. Hernandez was able to poke it in for the first goal of the night and made it 1-0 Roosevelt. St. Francis had a few more chances after that, most notably off of a foul. They got a free kick from just inches outside the box, and Zakharskidchenko put one in the back of the net. That tied the score apparently at 1-1, but a few seconds after the Saints were done celebrating and heading back to midfield to restart play, the referees talked it over, and they decided to take the goal off the board, and that kept it at 1-0 Roosevelt. And that would end up being the final, as both teams had some opportunities after that, but both goalkeepers, Carson Hegland for St. Francis and Mario Graciano for Roosevelt, making some big plays to keep the game where it was. So 1-0 is the final score. Roosevelt picks up their third consecutive victory, and for the first time this year, they move above 500 for the season. The Lakers are now 3-2-1 on the year. They improve their conference record to 3-1 with 3 straight conference wins. St. Francis falls to 1-7-1 overall. They drop their conference record below 500, 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 draw. So that'll do it for today. They're back at home, second straight home game this Wednesday against Governor State University. So that's the next time we will see you here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. That's all for today's broadcast. The Saints, in their soccer doubleheader today, earn a split. The women's team defeats Roosevelt 3-2. The men's team falls 1-0. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis from Joliet, Illinois. Have a good Saturday night.